Hello again, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of Big Time Sports. My name is Joe Dunn. This is the first show of 2026, so our first opportunity to say Happy New Year to all the basketball fans all over Stark County, all the way down in T County, as we get ready for the second half of the basketball season, which means we're going to decide who our conference champions are. We're going to decide who the top seeds are. And, of course, one of my favorite times of the year, the high school basketball tournament season. So I hope you look forward to being here each week as we interview a different coach, different player about what's going on at their respective schools. How about some of the big wins from last week all over the area? How about Alliance knocking off McKinley? Final score 56-54. Jackson over Glen Oak 70-58. Perry just got by Greene 40-38. Massillon having a great year. They're now 5-1. They beat Austintown Fitch 66-60. Hoover over Lake 59-44, and Northwest rebounded from a tough loss at Manchester the week before that. They beat Fairless 83-47. Our Big Time Sports TV game of the week this week will be over at the Canton Fieldhouse. The Jackson Polar Bears, Canton McKinley in a big Federal League game. Dave Sheets and Troy Richardson will be there to bring you the play-by-play in color. You can watch that game right here on Big Time Sports Friday night at 11 o'clock, and again Saturday morning at 9. Should be a great game. Jackson, one of the youngest teams in Stark County. McKinley favored to win the Federal League. That'll be a big one. You can watch it right here on Big Time Sports. In addition to the Jackson at McKinley game, other games to watch this week, Massillon will be at Central Catholic, Glen Oak at Greene, Perry at Hoover, Northwest at Canton South, Minerva at Alliance. Hey, before we take a break, Big Time Sports would like to offer their condolences to the family of head coach Jim Dennison, who passed away early Monday morning over in Wadsworth. Jim was a former head football coach at the University of Akron, also Walsh University. Two of his three sons are head coaches in the area. Matt is the head coach at Glen Oak. Greg is the head coach at Medina Buckeye. I worked with Jim Dennison at the University of Akron for many, many years. Big loss, a great man, the passing of Jim Dennison. We're going to come back and talk some Louisville Leopards basketball right after this.
Thinking about selling your car? Make it fun at Ferris Chevy Toyota. We buy all cars, any truck, any SUV, and we pay top dollar, even if you don't buy from us. It's fast, easy, and yes, car buying is fun at Ferris. Visit us on the Wabash in New Philadelphia or start online at ferrischevytoyota.com. Ferris Chevy Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
You're only as good as your people. And what we've done here is that we've created a culture where people flourish.
We don't want it to be a transaction. We want it to be something where there's a consultative approach, a relationship that allows us to really, one, ensure our customer the right way, but then two, to let them understand the value of getting to work with us.
It's an extreme amount of satisfaction for this team that we have right now. We've developed a team that is solely based on relationships.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Matt.
And we're West End Pizzeria. Here, every pizza starts by hand. Fresh dough, real cheese, and toppings piled high the way you like them. It's not just dinner, it's that warm hometown flavor that keeps friends and families coming back. Dine in, carry out, or grab a slice on your way home. West End Pizzeria, located at 130 West Lisbon Street in Waynesburg, Ohio. We'll save you a slice.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports as we welcome everybody to our first show of 2026. And nobody better to start the new year than the defending state champions. How about the Louisville Leopards? New head coach David Wirtz is here as they try and make it 2 in a row. And it's going to be an exciting year for your fans out there in Louisville. And Coach Wirtz, welcome to the program. We were talking before the show. We have a lot in common, a lot of the same friends. And tell us how you got your start in basketball. I know your dad was a coach. Why don't you give us an update how you got to where you are right now?
Yeah, it's a lot of small steps going through it. So it all started in my youth. My dad had coached with Larry Taylor. He was his JV coach back in the day. So growing up from a very young age, I think I had just always been around basketball, been around the high school environment in terms of that, especially back in the day with Jackson. You know, they were a really good team, especially in the Federal League. So just growing up around it. And then obviously as a kid, you know, you played basketball. You did the travel basketball with AAU. I had graduated. I knew I wasn't going to the NBA. I knew that I was going to become an educator. So I decided to kind of not take the college route in terms of playing. I had coached 4 years at Jackson Middle School with my dad during college to kind of get some experience. Sure. I knew that helped me as a teacher as well. And then I had done my student teaching at Louisville my, senior year of college. It was kind of COVID still, so I survived the COVID streak in terms of college. But I was student teaching, and that was the year that Louisville had went to the regional finals and lost to St. Vincent St. Mary's.
I remember the game. That was right here on Big Time Sports, if I remember right.
Yes, yes. So just kind of being around the environment, I got to interact with Coach Siegfried. He was not my student teacher, but he was the classroom right next to mine. Kind of talking with him in the hallways, I really liked his philosophies. I really liked his principles, kind of what they built their basketball program off of. So then I graduate college, and I'm kind of looking for a job. I looked at some places. I had kind of had a job at Chippewa, and I was looking around for a little bit more solidified position in terms of teaching and kind of having some experience. So I had reached out to some people I knew at Louisville for my student teaching, and they had mentioned that there was a permanent sub job at Louisville at the middle school. So I said, hey, great, it's a position, it's a little bit closer for me, paid a little bit more money than the other schools. Teachers don't make a ton, but you gotta nickel and dime when you can. So
exactly.
I had taken the job at Louisville, and actually after my interview, within probably about an hour, I had gotten a call back saying, hey, you got the job. 2 minutes after I got the call in terms of a job, I texted Coach Siegfried and asked if there was any openings in terms of coaches. At first, I was actually going to coach the current junior class. I was going to coach them as 8th graders. Some things had worked out where a freshman job had opened up, so I ended up coaching freshmen, which would have been this senior class's freshman year. So I had coached freshmen for a season. After that first season, Coach Siegfried moved me up to JV for 2 more years. We go to states last year. Coach Siegfried retires. And then I've been lucky enough to take over the basketball program, and now we're here. So
I'll tell you what, congratulations. You couldn't have ended at a better spot. Defending state champions, great mentor and Coach Siegfried. Before we introduce your players, you brought 3 on the show tonight. The difference between an assistant coach and the head coach, a lot more responsibilities. The buck stops with you, I guess, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I think during the kind of interview process, you're thinking, man, I want to coach these kids. Love the competitors they were, and I had coached them in the past, and especially as JV players. So I already knew the group of kids we had in terms of competitors, just in terms of coachable kids. Grew up with great families. We have genuinely a great group of basketball players, not just on the basketball court, but also in the classroom, outside of the school, in the community itself. So it's interesting learning now that you kind of experience that head coaching, the responsibilities of it. I think it turned around pretty quick. So I had gotten hired May 25th. I had gotten hired, and as you know, high school basketball in terms of summer picks up that first day in June.
June's big month.
Yeah, so I didn't have a ton of time to plan for that. Luckily enough, Coach Siegfried already had the youth camp set up. He already had the summer, most of the summer things set up from the varsity level down to freshmen. So it was nice to be able to kind of get into that. But I've learned in terms of paperwork and responsibilities and youth basketball and everything in between. I am the person getting asked.
Exactly.
And I think it didn't hit me. Hit me probably in August, I'd say that, hey, you've got an entire basketball program that you're in charge of. Not just, varsity, not just JV or freshman, not just middle school in terms of 7th and 8th grade. You got 6th, you've got 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. You've got K-2 in terms of clinics. And now that I've kind of had a second to experience that, I love it. All right, it's great, but you are absolutely correct. In terms of an assistant to a head coach, there's a lot of different responsibilities, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Coach Siegfried kind of protected his assistants from all of the extra work that he had to do, and kind of took that load off of us and handled that himself. So I'm trying to do that with my assistant coaches as well. I have a very supportive coaching staff. But I'm kind of trying to help them out, especially as I'm learning the ropes myself. I don't want to delegate responsibilities to people that I don't even know what they are yet or how to handle it. So it's been a good learning experience, and with time comes plenty more learning. But in the 10 games that we've played so far up to now, since I've gotten hired, there's been tremendous growth, I like to think, in terms of my understanding, my patience, and kind of organization of all those things. But I've done my best of keeping up with it. Can't say I've been perfect, but we're definitely getting ahead of the ball now. So that part of it's been nice.
Well, you're off to a 6-4 start. You got a young man sitting next to you that's been a key part of this whole season thus far. A long way to go. Why don't you introduce him and tell him what he means to the group?
Yeah, so this is Colton Norris. This is one of the kids that I got to coach now for this is my 4th year getting to coach this group of guys. This is the senior class now. And they obviously got to learn from all those guys last year and being able to have them as mentors, being able to look up for them. So Colton Norris, he is one of our team captains this year. Not one of the more vocal players we'd have on our team, but absolutely one of those kids who leads through example in terms of showing the correct way to do things. This has got to be one of the most coachable kids that I have coached by far. Wow. Always doing what's being asked of him, never necessarily speaking under his. I've never heard this kid speak under his breath. Never have I seen this kid show negative body language. For example, the start of this year, Colton probably wasn't getting the minutes that he necessarily wanted, but he still played a role on this team. The last 2 games, our big man Brandon Sanders was sick. He had the flu, so he was out. He had missed 6 days before Hoban, so we had to start Colton. Colton actually got the responsibility of guarding, I'd imagine, one of their better players in terms of Johnson for Hoban, so he did a great job there. The Toronto game, prior to that, he had started. Brandon wasn't able to play that game either. We gave him another, really difficult kind of game plan in guarding their best player as well. He handled both of those experiences tremendously, and that's what he's showing these other guys is you might not always get the minutes you want or think you deserve, but when your name's called, he's going to step up. So he's been a great job at doing that. And once again, just showing the correct way to do things. He's a physical guy. I don't understand how, but he does. He's one of our best rebounders on our team because he has the correct techniques. Once again, as I'll go back to it, he's a coachable kid. So when we're explaining certain techniques, certain ways we want them to do things, he's going to do it. All right, he doesn't have his way's the best way. He's willing to listen. He's willing to be coached, and that's ultimately how you become better, and that's ultimately how you make your team better.
There you go.
So.
Well, Colton, welcome to the program. We're going to give you the chance to be vocal because the coach says you don't talk that much. But tell us about preparation for this season. You're coming off a state championship. You know you're going to be a senior this year. This is it for basketball. Tell us about your preparation going into this year.
Yeah, we got a small group of seniors this year with the top 8 guys leaving. We know we had big shoes to fill going through the summer and stuff, but we have a lot of young guys. We had to bring them up with us and just keep working every day. I'm
guessing that since you guys won a state championship, you got a big target on your chest. Every time you go against somebody this year, they're saying, we're playing the state champion, so you get their best shot. Have you felt that in the first 10 games, that people are coming at you a little bit harder, knowing they can potentially knock off the state champions?
Yes, we feel that every single game. There's always, every single team is we're always going to get another team's best shot to beat us.
Sure. I was out to Louisville a couple times. We did some games out there, of course. Great atmosphere for your home games. Tell us what that is like to grow up in Louisville, and now you got the big crowds and the adrenaline's flowing. Tell us what it's like to come on the floor before a Louisville game for the warm-ups.
Yeah, as a kid growing up, I always went to the basketball games, and this community we have is great. They always show out to all our games. They'll travel with us when we go to away games. And our student section is awesome too. We always get a big turnout in the student section. They're always loud, and it really helps you play better when you know you have people supporting you like that with the students and the fans and community.
Growing up in Louisville, small community, how many of the guys that you started playing basketball back maybe in the 2nd or 3rd grade you're still playing with, and how much fun is it to come up through the program with those same guys?
Yeah, it's fun. We lost a few along the way.
Along the way, you always do, yeah.
Yeah, we got 4 now, but yeah, it's something we'll always have with each other. We got to go up with going playing. We didn't win many games when we were like a young class like that, but we came a long way.
Final question before we take a break. What's your future like? College, career, what are you thinking about?
I'm looking to go to Ohio University to study sports management.
Going to be a Bobcat.
Yep.
Okay, what's your major going to be?
Sports management.
I'll tell you what, congratulations. Maybe we'll see you as an athletic director or somewhere in college sports down the road. But thanks for coming over, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Coach, stay put. We're going to come back and meet another Louisville Leopard right after this.
Thinking about selling your car? Make it fun at Ferris Chevy Toyota. We buy all cars, any truck, any SUV, and we pay top dollar, even if you don't buy from us. It's fast, easy, and yes, car buying is fun at Ferris. Visit us on the Wabash in New Philadelphia or start online at ferrischevitoyota.com. Ferris Chevy Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
Altman is here for you, in your community, because you matter. We're proud to be the area's first and only independent health system. We are one team, joined together and committed to one mission, to lead our community to improved health. And we've always been here, dedicated to providing you with the very best in care, wellness, education, insurance, and more. For your community and for your family, Altman is always here for you.
Scammers are always looking for their next target, but you don't have to be one of them. With BBB Scam Tracker, powered by the Better Business Bureau, in partnership with Amazon and Capital One, you can easily report and look up scams, and it's free to use. Learn about scams, get tips on how to avoid them, sign up for alerts, and more. Visit bbb.org/scamtracker and help put scammers out of business.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports as we continue our conversation with Louisville head basketball coach David Wirtz. They are 6-4 thus far in the season, coming off a win, and they got a tough schedule as you would expect. And they're an independent, which means it's even tougher sometimes to schedule games. But Coach, when you come into a program, you're an assistant coach, of course. Have you changed anything offensively or defensively? You're still doing pretty much the same thing that Coach Siegfried did with that group.
Yeah, so I've gotten asked this question before, and I try to give the same answer every time. It's hard to change a lot when you just came off of a state championship.
Sure.
Obviously, the things that they did worked. And the same token, the things worked with the group of kids that they had as well. So we run a lot of the same offensive sets in terms of certain actions to get these guys good reads. Defensively, had to incorporate a couple of different things. We've tried hedging a little bit more, kind of closing a little bit more gaps. Obviously, having a young group of kids, kind of learning the speed, learning the physicality. We didn't want to throw them in the lion's den there and expect them to be perfect. So we're kind of trying to get accustomed to that. They're doing a really good job defensively, though. That's probably been our strength. I think even in our losses have been to kind of stop the ball, stop those key players. Those games that we've lost are where we failed at that. Obviously, Northwest, in terms of Pennington, had his 32. That was our big focus. Alliance with J.R. Jackson had 29 against us. So those are two losses we'd like to get back. But these guys compete. So I can't say a ton has changed. A little bit different than Coach Siegfried. He's got his way of doing things. I've got my way of doing things. But a lot of those things are very, very similar. So coaching with intensity and holding kids accountable, kind of having that standard, making sure those kids meet that standard is some of those similarities that we're keeping. So.
Why don't you introduce this young guy and tell him what you expect out of him this year the rest of the way?
Yeah, so this is a junior, 6'2", Colton Doherty. He's been a starter for us this year. This guy has been huge. He's a football player. Did a really good job this season. Obviously, they made it to playoffs. He was a huge part of that. So, physical kid. We're not super big this year. Colton might be our second, third biggest kid, but he's absolutely, in terms of varsity physicality, I'd say he's one of our more ready players coming in. Obviously, having that varsity experience in the football field, he's kind of been accustomed to that physicality, but does a tremendous job rebounding, all right, and being that physical presence that we need out on the court. All right, kind of setting that tone on the defensive end and on the rebounding end. And then defensively, he's had some difficult matchups in terms of some size of guys. But the thing that's been nice with him is we can kind of switch him on some guards. He's capable of moving his feet, not as slow as some of those bigger guys would be, but he's capable of guarding those bigger guys. He's capable of boxing those bigger guys out, which has been huge for us, having a younger team. As well as not having a ton of height this season. You know, BG graduate and Tate graduate, and we lose a 6'5", 6'7" kid. That hurts a little bit. But once again, these guys are ready to step up in those roles that they need. He's played a huge role of us just in terms of that physicality. And also, he's not necessarily a team captain officially, but he's absolutely a leader on the court. He's been vocal. He helps out those younger guys. He holds those older guys accountable, and that's the type of leader that you need on a young basketball team.
Sounds good. Well, Colton, welcome to the program. I guess in hockey they have what they call the enforcer.
Yeah.
And you're the big guy inside. Would you see your physicality kind of the other players feed off that? Are you the guy that has to say, hey, we're going to get physical tonight, nobody's going to push us around? Do you enjoy that role?
Yeah, I feel like I have to go out there and kind of set the tone sometimes, and other guys kind of feed off of it. And yeah, I think everyone on the team kind of knows their roles, and I know mine, and I enjoy it for sure. Yeah.
Tell us about that transition from football to basketball. Obviously, it's a different muscle set. You got to get in shape.
Yeah.
You got to run more. Tell us how you do that and how much you enjoy that 3 or 4 week period before you feel like you got your basketball legs.
Well, it's pretty brutal, to be honest with you. Those first couple practices, yeah, like I'm dying. I'm asking for water. I'm trying to get to the next drill. So yeah, it's completely different. Obviously in football, you know, there's a stoppage after every play. In basketball, it's nonstop, but it's good for me. I like the conditioning. I like the running, and it's a tough transition for sure.
When did you decide, when you entered high school at Louisville, you were going to play more than one sport? You're playing football and basketball, and I don't know if you played baseball or run track or anything, but when did you decide you were going to be a multiple sport guy?
You know, once I was little, I always played basketball and football. I thought that was always a good combination of sports. My dad always did that growing up. He's always pushed me to do that, and I've always enjoyed playing both sports. Obviously, I'm probably a little better at football than basketball, but I still love both sports the same.
Is there different, tell people that haven't been able to do that transition, tell us about the different muscle sets and things you got to do differently in football as opposed to basketball. I'm thinking in football, it's that 5 or 6 second charge and hit, and then you got to regroup just for a while. Basketball, it's constant, right?
Yeah, basketball.
I overplayed that a little bit.
Yeah. Basketball is definitely a little more finesse. Football is a little more like grinding, pushing people around, you know. But they both kind of feed off of each other. Obviously, you need to play in both sides. Like in football, you're obviously still going to have to be fast and move your feet, and in basketball, you're still going to have some strength to push people around. Yeah,
of course, you got a first-hand look at last year's state championship run and the community and the excitement. Tell us how that run came for somebody like you, sitting back and watching that and experiencing that.
It was really enjoyable. I mean, I liked all the seniors, you know. I liked going to practice, pushing them, helping them out, and getting to sit there and see them succeed, and seeing the Coach Sufri succeed and seeing everyone succeed is always a happy and enjoyable thing to see.
Yeah, preparation for this year. Once you got your basketball legs, you sit and I don't know if you started to come off the bench or a combination of both, but how much did you observe as far as when you come into the game, you've seen what's happened maybe, now you're in there trying to change the tempo a little bit. How much you pay attention to that?
I don't come off the bench, but I started, so yeah, like getting in there, kind of feeling how the game's going and getting your feet under you for sure is a big thing. I've always been kind of a guy that like I need to get that first big play. I need someone to hit me. I need to hit someone to kind of wake myself up to kind of feel that I'm in this game.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, you got a lot of basketball and football ahead of you, so best of luck the rest of the way in your career at Louisville.
Yep. Thank you.
Coach, stay put because we got one more. Louisville Leopard. Can't wait to get up here and talk some basketball, so don't go away. We're back after this. Time out.
Thinking about selling your car? Make it fun at Ferris Chevy Toyota. We buy all cars, any truck, any SUV, and we pay top dollar, even if you don't buy from us. It's fast, easy, and yes, car buying is fun at Ferris. Visit us on the Wabash in New Philadelphia or start online at ferrischevytoyota.com. Ferris Chevy Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
With Bell Store's Bell Buddy Rewards, you save in-store and at the pump. New members receive 20 cents off per gallon as a welcome gift. Everyday savings are made easy. Instantly enjoy 3 cents off per gallon just for being a member. When you spend $25 in store, unlock an extra 5 cents off per gallon on your next fill-up. Buy 5, get 1 free. Track your drinks and earn free coffee, fountain, icy, and espresso with drink clubs. So start saving today. Download the Bell Stores app and sign up for Bell Buddy Rewards.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything was easy? Primetime Health Plan is easy to choose and easy to use. That's why we've had the highest customer service rating for 10 straight years. Call 330-363-7407 to get all the benefits you deserve. Medicare made easy with Primetime Health Plan. Primetime Health Plan is an HMO POS plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Primetime Health Plan depends on contract renewal. Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports. Our topic tonight, Louisville Leopards basketball. For you fans watching out in Louisville, big home game on Saturday night. The Barberton Magics come to town. Talk about a great basketball program, former state champions for years, great tradition. So you got a good one Saturday night with Barberton.
We do. Focused is tomorrow on Hoover first.
Yeah.
But we do get a big one on Saturday, absolutely.
How about the young man sitting next to you? Give us a little scouting report on him.
Yeah, so this is Cohen Rogers, Jr. He's going to be he's our shooting guard this year. So this guy, I've got the privilege of coaching him now as my third year coaching him. So when he was a freshman, he played JV with me, and then as a sophomore also played JV, and now he's kind of getting his junior experience on the varsity level. So real coachable kid. That's the nice thing about coaching at Louisville, man. You don't got to worry about these guys' effort. You don't have to worry about their coachability, and that's just the community that we have in terms of parents and raising their kids. So great kid, great young man. He's learning his role. We kind of need him a little bit more to be a scorer this year, but he's played his part tremendously in terms of stepping up to guard the best player. He guarded Rayshawn Hamilton when we played Akron Garfield. He guarded low against Newport, Kentucky. He's gotten offers from Kent State, Ohio University. He held him to 10 points. So he's doing everything that's asked of him and more. He grinds on the defensive end, grinds on the rebounds, and then he's got to still have energy on that offensive end. So we're kind of learning the ropes there, but he's done a huge job of stepping up into that role that those guys kind of left last year in terms of being scorers. Good shooter. Just kind of getting his confidence down right now and letting him know he's got that green light from us. And he did a really good job the last game. Was it 19 or 18? 18. He almost got to that 20 points. So he's got a couple of 18-point games this year. We're trying to get him in the 20s. Hopefully tomorrow against Hoover we can get that. But this dude's absolutely stepped up. Another team captain here as a junior. Kind of wanted to have a younger guy there. He is a little bit more vocal, so he's learning that role. But I've asked him since this sophomore year that I'm going to need him to be a leader. So he's kind of stepped up into that. So.
Well, welcome to the program. A two-way player. A lot of energy on defense, and of course you got to shoot the ball on basketball. What part of that game do you like, and what part do you excel at? What do you got to get better at?
Honestly, the past few matchups he's given me, I've learned to like the defensive end a little bit more, focus on that one guy. But in offense, I mean, we have many guys that could be the leading scorer, so I just try to find my shots when I can and find the open guy as well.
Sure. All the shooters I've known or been around, they don't worry about that last shot. They think the next one's going in. Is that your mentality? Forget about the last shot, concentrate on the next one?
Well, you see, freshman year, Wirtz can probably attest to this, I was not very confident. Like I had a lot of bad games my freshman year, but since then I've learned, my AAU coach always said next play. Yeah. So I've learned to wipe that away and knock down the next one.
How many shots do you put up during the summer? Let's say you come out, you're in the gym by yourself, you're outside on an outdoor court. Normally, how do you go about taking your shots? How many do you take?
I don't know like an exact number, but I like to try to get in the gym almost every single day, get some shots up with either a buddy or by myself or one of the coaches. Yeah. So I would say it's a lot, but I don't know.
Yeah. What about your future? What's basketball offer you, and what are you going to do after it's all over?
So I think I've finally decided that these last 2 years will be my last of basketball. Okay. So I'm going to put all my effort into that, and then when I go to college, I want to be a history teacher.
History teacher.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, you've had a great career at Louisville and got a lot of basketball left, so best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Coach, it was finally nice to meet you. Great job tonight. We'll be keeping track of the Leopards, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Absolutely.
Next week, St. Thomas Aquinas is scheduled to be here. Don't forget that game Friday night. Jackson at McKinley. My name's Joe Dunn. We'll see you back here next week with more Big Time Sports.